my neighbour next door just sneezed. I just wanted to, she just sneezed again. This is how thin the walls are when you live in England. Anyways, cutting forward, I tend to be, I don't know what my neighbour's doing, but I tend to be really invested in what goes on in America. And so yesterday we had the Suzanne or Susan Smith parole hearing, which obviously she wasn't going to get. Absolute lunatic. So 30 years in jail, and it was the ex-husband who I think had said the best thing, right, when he said, so she's done 30 years, that's 15 years each for the two children. That's not long enough. It's not long enough. So it was like, back to your jail cell, off you pop. And what was really sad about that is when he said, I'll be here every 2 years. So this poor guy who's been going through this for 30 years with the absolute devastation of missing his children has to turn up again in 2 years to keep this lunatic still in prison. So cut forward to about half an hour ago, I'm watching YouTube, as you know I do, and up pops this other one. And I'm like, what is this? Tiffanie Lucas. Don't know who she is. Let's have a look at the background. Let's see what's going on, and let's have a rundown of the sentencing that's happened today. So I think it was absolutely heartbreaking listening to the testimony of all the family, but in particular the grandma, where you've got the little boy, Maurice, who was 6. I mean, that's a baby, and then his older brother Jaden, who's 9. Again, so young and so innocent, and this lunatic Tiffanie Lucas, who in all the pictures, when she's in the pictures with her son, do you know what do you notice about them? That she's in the front with the tongue out, doing all the posing thing. Just it's all about me. Absolute narcissist, vacuous. Now, obviously, doesn't spell her name with a Y because that would be too normal. It has to have an IE on the end. Whatever, knock yourself out. But it's just looking at her thinking, and do you know something? The hardest thing about watching the victim impact was one of the aunties who said, like on the stand, and the judge didn't stop her, and I really like that about the judge when she said, and she got what, 20-year minimum life, but 20-year minimum before she is allowed to apply for parole. And the auntie got up and said, I'm telling you now, and she was with the finger saying, I'm telling you now, I will be here if you get offered the chance of parole. And then she said, BITCH, I'll be there. I'll be there. And she meant it. But so cutting back to the reason I mentioned Susan Smith, or Suzanne Smith, however you pronounce it in America, it made me think, hang on a second, if this lunatic, Tiffanie Lucas, has the opportunity, even the opportunity for parole in 20 years, what was that? How can that be? Because that would then mean that she's been given, 10 years for each child for Maurice and Jaden. That's not a life sentence. That doesn't mean anything. Even if she was given the opportunity of parole after 60 years, you'd still be questioning it, thinking, that's not making sense. So this 20-year thing, she isn't getting out. She's not going to get out. This is insane. And it was absolutely heartbreaking watching the grandma and the aunt and the testimony, and just thinking about these two times. You know how young 6 and 9 is? For any of us who are parents, do you know how ickle that is? That, oh my God, the innocence and the protective streak you have in yourself as a parent, that all you want to do is protect your child. And then you get parents like this Tiffanie and Suzanne and a billion other of them. There's loads of them. And you can't wrap your head around it, because no normal person does this. So it left me just feeling so sad for the families. But back to jail, off you pop. None of us are interested. Just get gone.